Welcome to Creature Creator, the show where I help you recreate your favorite stories and characters at your gaming tables. Today, we are heading on down to Mushnik's Flower Shop on Skid Row to see the world-famous Audrey 2. Reportedly, a mix between a Venus flytrap and a butterwort, Audrey 2 has helped skyrocket the little shop's popularity, resulting in a surge in their flower sales. Certainly such success is a long overdue payoff to the hard work put in by the staff, and not your classic deal with the devil scenario between a wimp and a horrific man-eating plant from space. No, surely not that. Still, you gotta admit, the reveal of a smooth-talking Venus flytrap as the big bad would make for a pretty great late-game twist in a game, eh? Chew on the nose? Alright. Let's get the show on the road. Here on Creature Creator. Hey, hello there! I'm Flintworth, and I cannot stress enough how satisfying it is to pull off a twist in an RPG, especially when you consider all the things that could go wrong. Like the twist itself could come across as half-baked or upsetting, or worse yet, too obvious that one of your players figure it out before you even get a chance to reveal it. Right, Shade? Stop questioning Millie, Shade. There's nothing mysterious about her, okay? It's totally normal for a human to have glowing eyes, right, Shade? One of my favorite ways to combat this is just to lean into that latter issue, and we'll play off my player's suspicions by giving them a red herring to obsess over, while I maneuver my real twist in the shadows. That kind of trick can only go on for so long, though. Eventually you'll need to lift the curtain and reveal all to get the best narrative impact. If you're looking to surprise your players with a long con, though, we'll need to change up our tactics a little bit. First, by exercising the greatest amount of patience and resilience to keep the whole thing a secret. Seriously, I've had to wait years to finally reveal some of my biggest surprises. And second, we are going to need our own villain to center the whole twist around. Someone who's cool, calculating, and just charming enough to convince any innocent hero to go out and do their bidding. What we need is our own... Nope, not you. Get back to Hyrule where you belong. Ah, there you are. There's our golden plant and guest of honor. Audrey 2, or Twoie to its friends, is just the master manipulator we need for this kind of a story. It knows just what to whisper into your ear to make you its friend, whether that be the promise of fortune and fame. All you got to do is feed it a little blood and you're good to go. Okay, I know what you're thinking. What player in their right mind is going to agree to make a deal with a singing plant? The ones who play barbarians, rogues, druids, and lizard folks, obviously. But my aim here today is not help you recreate Audrey 2 branch for branch. Not that there is anything stopping you. A little Shop of Horrors themed game would be pretty awesome if you happen to play with a group of theater nerds. That said, what I want to do is help you reproduce Audrey's methodologies to better prepare you to build up to that third act twist. Hope you like playing mind games to manipulate your players, because we're going to be doing a whole lot of that moving forward. Starting with our first ploy, luring their guards. Early in your campaign, you need to introduce your Audrey in a state that makes them as innocent and defenseless as possible. In no certain terms should your players consider your future villain a threat. Like if they showed up in your story as a sniveling child, a random funny named stranger, or even a magical creature in poor health. Essentially, we want them in such a deprived state that it becomes very apparent they would die without others' help, which should act just enough as a Trojan horse for your villain to be welcomed into your party's fold. And don't be afraid to set this meeting up with your players stumbling across Audrey in some fight with a bunch of random creatures. Nothing builds a relationship more than allies made through combat. From here, we are ready to initiate our next maneuver, creating attachment. While our Audrey is still a weak little pup in the safety of your party, you'll need to start encouraging the ruse that they belong with them. Ideally in the position of, well, the party's pet, or even their mascot. Someone they won't think twice about accompanying them on the rest of their journey to adventure across the land or beat up some other villain. Which you can pull off in a variety of ways, like having them sleep by a player's feet at night, or by having them be curious about the world around them. The intention is to be wholesome and sweet, not annoying or naive. Don't push it, and take your time. It may be a while until you hit the sweet spot with your players. Or if you're lucky, your players can end up like Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine when she got her dog.
I've only had Arlo for a day and a half, but if anything happened to him, I would kill everyone in this room and then myself.
Very violent eulogy, I like it.
And don't fret if your party elects to hand off your Audrey to someone else. You can still keep the little schemer involved in your plot. Hell, if anything, it actually makes your job that much easier, as you now can treat that new NPC as, well, like Seymour, who can present your party with a variety of quests to help your villain grow up big and strong, for a reasonable reward, of course. Speaking of which, by the middle of your campaign, you should be just at the right point to move on to stage 3 of our ploy, sealing the deal. Similar to Audrey 2 promising Seymour fame and fortune, our Fiend should make the same kind of offer to our players in the form of a small boon. Personally, I would go with the offer of power above all else, especially if you intend to run your game with a combat-focused system like Dungeons & Dragons, where dealing out more damage can mean all the difference in achieving victory. Then again, a power boost doesn't have to be limited to the terms of a battlefield. Handing a little extra narrative control can be just as tantalizing to some players, if not more. Is the party shunned by society? Audrey can help win them over. Short on cash? Not when you got Audrey at your side. Fed up with an annoying, vile character? Just knock him out and feed them to your old pal Audrey. Problem solved. What? Did you really think we'd keep up the pretense that your green fiend was a goody little two-shoes? Far from it. If anything, by this point in the campaign, you want to start revealing that darker side. After literally growing up next to the party, they should view this change as just a part of your Audrey's character growth as they learn to develop their morality. It doesn't even matter if they agree to your villain's offer. Lest you forget, or didn't even know, in Little Shop, Seymour gets cold feet himself when tasked to make his first kill. It's almost laughable how things turn out when the schmuck he's after ends up doing most of the work for Seymour. Well, the guy's dead anyway. Might as well beat him to my plant. Because that's the funny thing about a story like A Little Shop of Horrors. It's not just about a jerk succumbing to temptation, but it's also a cautionary tale about desensitization. By the end, Seymour is so over his head, he barely questions helping out a literal monster, because Audrey 2 is like family to him. He watched it grow up from a little spud. That kind of attachment is really hard to shake. And what's truly scary is that regardless if you manage to pull off the same relationship in your players, your Audrey 2 should be in a place that they will get what they want, whether the players help them or not. So for better or worse, your players will be stuck in the last part of our plot, the deep end, where they will have no choice to stand up to the monster of their own making, lest they let it consume the entire world. This final showdown has the potential to end like a Greek tragedy, which won't be everyone's cup of tea. So be ready to have one last Deus Ex Machina trick up your sleeve to help even the playing field for your players. While this may diffuse the potential of your story's ending a little, it'll be worth it if it means everyone has fun in the end, which really is what our hobby is all about, playing through wild and imaginative adventures with our friends. So it doesn't really matter what horrific twists and turns you may or may not pull off. You all will appreciate the memories and enemies you've made together along the way. And that's the kind of bond that even Audrey 2 itself could ever tear apart. Next time on Creature Creator. He's making a list and checking it twice. He's going to need help punishing all those naughty with vice. Next month, Krampus is coming to town. Hi, thank you so much for watching today. I really kind of had fun with this one. I Always really adored the Little Shop of Horrors story. It was one of the first plays I ever saw, one of the first nightmares I ever had. So it's kind of cool to take a look at it and see what we can learn from the tale, from the whole shtick that is Audrey 2 and Seymour, and see what I can bring to you all back at your respective tables. So hope you enjoyed it, hope you liked it. If you haven't already, consider liking, subscribing, or even sharing this video. All three help me out immensely. And if you don't, no worries. You're still beautiful, and I love you anyway. Take care.